In 1891, 6 years before the first Zionist Congress, the Jewish writer and early Zionist thinker, Ahad Ha'am, traveled to Palestine. The behavior of the early Zionist settlers shocked him. They deal with the Arabs with hostility and cruelty, trespass unjustly, beat them shamefully for no sufficient reason, and even boast about their actions. 4 years later, Theodor Herzl contemplated what should be done with the native population. In his diary, he wrote, "We shall try to spirit the penniless population across the border by procuring employment for it in the transit countries, while denying it any employment in our own country." Israel Zangwill was one of the most prominent figures in early Zionism. In 1917, he argued that the Arabs should be encouraged to fold their tents and silently steal away. 2 years later, Zangwill said of the Palestinian Arabs, "Many are semi-nomad. They have given nothing to Palestine and are not entitled to the rules of democracy." Zangwill's racist caricature bore little resemblance to Palestinian society. The vast majority of Palestinian Arabs were settled farmers and townspeople, living in permanent villages and cities and cultivating land their families had worked for generations. And far from giving nothing to Palestine, they had built a flourishing agricultural economy increasingly integrated into international markets. Exports of Jaffa oranges exploded from about 200,000 oranges in 1845 to 38 million in 1870. Olive oil exports through Jaffa increased from about 28,000 liters in 1857 to 560,000 liters in 1882. Gaza barley was exported to Britain, where it was prized by British brewers. The burgeoning agricultural trade helped give Palestine a balance of trade surplus. These were the people Zangwill dismissed as not entitled to the rules of democracy. And that racist worldview was institutionalized by the Zionists in Palestine. Beginning during the Second Eliachar, from 1904 to 1914, more than a decade before the British Mandate, labor Zionists set about constructing a segregated Jewish economy. Jewish labor was to completely replace the Arab workforce in every Jewish enterprise. The policy was called Hebrew labor. In practice, race-based hiring meant that Arabs working jobs in businesses acquired by Zionists or cultivating land acquired by Zionists would lose their livelihoods because they were Arabs. Arab displacement became a pillar of labor Zionist nation building in Palestine. Arabs would be replaced with Jews on the land, in commerce, and in industry. There were dissenting Zionist voices. At the Seventh Zionist Congress in 1905, Itzhak Epstein warned, "Among the difficult issues regarding the rebirth of our people in its homeland, one issue outweighs them all, our relations with the Arabs." But labor Zionism moved in precisely the opposite direction. The rights of the Arab population were subordinate to Zionist goals. In 1920, the Histadrut, the General Federation of Hebrew Workers, was founded. The Histadrut would become the enforcer of the policy of Hebrew labor. During the Histadrut campaigns for Hebrew labor in the Jaffa orange groves, Arab workers and Jewish workers who worked alongside Arabs were attacked by Histadrut thugs. Irrigation lines were cut and tools stolen from orchards that didn't fall in line. During the 1920s, Zionist organizations purchased some of Palestine's richest agricultural land in the Jezreel Valley from the absentee landlords, the Sursak family. More than 20 Arab villages stood on these estates, inhabited by thousands of fellahin whose families had cultivated the valley for generations. The villages were evicted and thousands of fellahin expelled to make way for exclusively Jewish settlements. In 1930, the British Hope Simpson report recorded the result. It is a fact that in a number of villages, the tithes paid by the Jews are considerably below those paid by the Arabs who formerly cultivated those villages. The considerably lower tithes were due to the fact that many of the new Jewish settlements had a considerably lower agricultural output compared to the Palestinians they replaced. The race-based hiring policy alarmed the British. The Hope Simpson report noted, "The present position, precluding any employment of Arabs in the Zionist colonies, is undesirable from the point of view both of justice and of the good government of the country. It is impossible to view with equanimity the extension of an enclave in Palestine from which all Arabs are excluded. The Arab population already regards the transfer of lands to Zionist hands with dismay and alarm. These cannot be dismissed as baseless in the light of the Zionist policy which is described above." By 1935, about 12,000 Arabs worked in the Jewish sector, out of a Palestinian Arab population of more than 830,000. It should also be noted that the construction of a segregated Jewish economy was not a response to the violence in 1929. It preceded it by decades. The Shore Commission was established to investigate the bloody riots of 1929. It identified the underlying cause as the twofold fear of the Arabs that by Jewish immigration and land purchase they may be deprived of their livelihood and in time pass under the political domination of the Jews. The fear was not difficult to understand. It was not anti-Semitism that caused Arabs to fear being displaced from their villages and the land their families had cultivated for centuries, or to fear losing their jobs to Jews because they were Arabs. The Arab majority didn't need to be anti-Semitic to oppose a political system that denied them the democratic right to determine their future in their own country. Eliachar was a Palestinian Jew whose family had lived in Jerusalem since 1485. He served as the deputy mayor of Jerusalem, was a founder of the World Sephardi Federation, and later served in the Knesset. Looking back on relations between Arabs and Jews, Eliachar wrote, "I have had business dealings with Arabs involving hundreds of thousands of pounds, with never a receipt or piece of paper or the intervention of lawyers being needed, and I have never known an Arab to break his word or to try to cheat me. It is absurd to assume Arabs can't be trusted, but all the Zionist leaders established a tradition of despising the Levant. They accepted the European assumption that Levantinism is a term of contempt. The problem wasn't Jews living alongside Arabs. They had done so for centuries. The problem was a European colonial project that sought to displace Arabs from their land, their jobs, and the economy. Political nation building at the expense of the native population made Zionist colonization a zero-sum game, with predictable results." Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please like and subscribe.